In this session, we want to create a controller for review. So open F controllers. So under controllers, we're going to create a new file named reviews underscore controller.rb, and we're going to create a class reviews controller extend from application controller. As tradition, we're going to create a private method for params. So I'm going to say private def review params, and in here we're going to say params dot require review dot permit. Now here we're going to pass the command staff and room ID. Again, in the param list, we don't need to mention user ID here because we're going to use a current user to create a review like we done with the other model. Now for our review controller, we need two actions only, one for creating and one for destroying. So here I'm going to say create and destroy. Now for create, let's create a new review variable, and we're going to say current user dot reviews dot create, and we're going to pass a review param, and then we redirect to the review.room. So that's mean first we're going to create a new review and based on a current user, and then we're going to redirect that one to the room of that review. Now for the destroy, first we say review equal review dot find params ID. So first we're going to get the review based on the ID, and then we're going to get the room of that review, and after that we're going to get review.destroy, and once we destroy that review, we just redirect it back to the room. Alright, so we need to get the room before we destroy that review, and then after that just redirect back to that room. Next, we need to modify the show action of the room controller. So open F controllers and the room controller. Now in the show action, so in here we need to do three things. First, we need to check whether the current user made a booking for this room or not, because only the guest who booked this room can make a review. And we're going to do that by say we're going to create a new variable, and we're going to check reservation dot where. So first we say room ID equal question mark and user ID equal question mark. So for the first question mark we say room ID, and for the second question mark we say current user dot ID. We're going to check if this present, and we're going to check this one only if we have a current user. So that means the current user login. Now the next thing we want to do is get a list of all the reviews. So room.reviews, and then we're going to check has review equal at reviews.find by user ID. Now we only check that if we can find current user ID. Alright, so let me explain the whole thing again. So here we do three things. First, we need to check whether the current user make a booking for this room or not, because only the guest who booked this room can make a review, and that's why we got this one. So first we're going to find the room ID and the user ID, and if we can find that record in the database, and that's mean this user booked this room. Alright, we just want to get a list of the review belong to this room. Now lastly, we're going to check if the current user already made a review for this room or not, because one user can only make one review for one room all the time. They can remove it and recreate a new review anytime. So that's why we need to check has review or not. Oops, this one should be reservation. Alright. Now, and as usual, we need to update our resources. So open config routes.rb, and under here, let's create a new resources. And we're going to say rooms. And here we're going to say resources, reviews, but we only want to do that with the create action and the destroy action. Alright, so far we're done with the model and the controller for the review. In the next session, we're going to work on the view.